Alright everyone, another exciting landing page update. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to show you is the update that we made to the form. We now are allowing hidden fields. That's right, you can take any field that you have on the landing page and hide it. Now what this is best used for is, let's say I've got an email list and I'm sending an email to that list, and I want them to click on a link in that email that takes them to this landing page, and maybe I only want to collect their first name. Well, then I can hide the email address field. It'll auto-populate in the background, and I can just ask them for their first name. They fill that out, they hit submit, and it automatically adds their first name to the contact record associated with that email address. Super exciting. A bunch of you guys requested this. It's here. And while I explain that, I let another feature slip, which is auto-populating contact fields. The landing pages will now auto-populate the contact details that you have associated with your contact. So now, if you send an email out, they click on a link, and those fields that you have already exist in the contact record, then they'll actually auto-populate the form and will only be asking for information that you don't have about that person's contact record. So that's really awesome, very useful feature. What that also gives us the ability to do is you can now do multi-step opt-ins. In other words, maybe I have a page where I only want to ask for their email address, because I know the less information I ask, the higher likelihood they're going to be filling it out. But then when they hit the submit button, I'd like for them to redirect to another one of my landing pages where I ask them for some more information. You can do that by simply asking for email up front, and then on the next page, maybe you're only asking for first name. You can then hide the email field. It'll populate in the background. They fill out their first name, and it'll add that to the contact record. Really sleek. Love this feature. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to get a ton of value out of it. Now, another thing that we added that's a little bit more advanced is something called URL parameters. We abbreviate it here as URL params. And what URL parameters is, because you can now auto-populate you can modify the URL now to pass parameters over. Well, URL param allows you to overwrite the default URL parameter. In other words, let's say I've got this email field here, and normally in a URL I might write question mark email equals whatever the email address might be. Well, maybe I want to modify that, and I want to say that email is something else just for the sake of that URL. What I can do is, let's say I call email e-address, for example. That's kind of a dumb name, but let's just call it that. Let's see here. Oops. Okay, so e-address. I'm going to go ahead and hit next step. Next. Step, and I'm going to launch this. Alright, I've published it. Alright, so you see I've got email and first name here. I can go ahead and in the URL do / email equals, and we'll just do statme.com. If I go there, you'll notice it populates the email field with the parameter that I set. But remember earlier I added the URL param as e-address. What that allows me to do is to modify this little part right here. So rather than email, I could do e-address and refresh that. And there you go. It actually populated it as well. Now, just so you guys know that I'm not making this up. I'll change this to something weird. I'll even just say e-mail, and it shouldn't work now. It doesn't, because it's not the email field or the overridden URL param. Pretty neat, right? So you'll be able to do some advanced stuff with that. It'll populate hidden fields as well if you have the hidden fields on the page. So go crazy, enjoy these features, get out, publish your pages. Oh, and by the way, content publishing is now available. That's right. You can now go into the campaign builder and you can publish your landing pages to other client apps the same way that you publish campaigns. So it'll carry over in a campaign. You'll just hit copy via content publishing, put it in your partner marketplace, pull it down into the client apps accordingly, or if you're using Partner Edition, push it out, and your clients will now have the ability to utilize the landing pages that you've created. So go, have fun, happy publishing. Let me know if you've got any questions or what you think about this update, and we'll see you guys soon.